Hi, hello. How are we doing today? What is up, everybody? My name is Kelsey. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. I'm so glad to have you. Happy that you're here. Today I'm gonna do a sit-down video, which I don't do that often, but I am trying to get back into them. I am gonna do a weight loss vlog. And if you've been here for a minute, you know that last year when I first started kind of recording my weight loss progress, I did a weight loss vlog every so often, but then I fell off the bandwagon. Things got a little too intense in my real life and it just like stopped happening altogether. But I've been recently back in the swing of things, like officially, and I want to start doing the weight loss vlogs again. So that's what I'm doing. And if you're like brand spanking new, my name is Kelsey. I'm 26 and I'm trying to lose 100 pounds. And I am bringing you guys along with me through thick and thin, whether you guys like it or not. You're coming with me. And so this is my first installment of my weight loss vlogs at this point. So I want to get into it. I want to tell you how I've been feeling, what I've been thinking, the progress that I've made, and all of that good stuff. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so I have decided that every time I complete a milestone, which I'll get into in just a second, I am going to do a weight loss vlog. And I have successfully completed 2 milestones actually, because I adjusted like my program thing in my app. And if you have literally no idea what I'm talking about, yeah, probably most of you, I am talking about the Happy Scale app. So I found this on TikTok, and basically, oh, you might not be able to see, it's gonna focus on me. But essentially, it is a weight loss tracking app. And why this one is so special to me and why it's working so well for me is because it almost makes a game of it. Not actually, but it does like gamify the process a little bit. Essentially, you put in your current weight, you put in your goal weight. I'm not gonna be like only focused on weight, but because I have a lot of weight to lose, I am focused on that. But that could be a conversation for another day. Anyway, you put in your goal weight and then you can break it up into different milestones, which is essentially just like chunks of pounds that you want to lose, and then you like successfully check off one milestone as you lose weight. And it sends you like notifications to weigh. It keeps track of all of your progress. You can add notes to your entries. It gives you graphs and data, and it gives you like a timeline. It gives you your current weight trends. It'll show you like your highest, your lowest, your most recent. It just really like tickles a part of my brain that I needed from a weight loss app. And I've tracked my weight a lot of different ways, but this one seems to be working the best for me, because I can visually see it. And I also have a widget on my phone. It's that one right there. So you can customize your widgets too if you like use that. And I just really like it. So it's sometimes weight loss for me is like out of sight, out of mind, even though you're eating all the time, but I can see this. Every single time I open my phone, I can see the way that I have it set up. I can see my latest weigh-in. I can see the progress that I've made for the whole goal, and then how many pounds to go, like to reach my goal. And that just really does it for me. One thing that I really like is the milestone thing. So you can like customize how big your milestones are. I started out doing 15 milestones, and I got a little discouraged there for a second, so I increased it up to 20 and then did like even numbers, just so it like makes it, I'm not doing like 231 and 247.6. I want it to be like increments, even increments. And so adjusting that, I haven't lost any more weight, but I am working on milestone number 3 now. So I'll show you this little bit right here up close. So that's my little milestone tracker, and you can see like the percentage of your current milestone, and then down here it's like your whole goal milestone tracker situation. And I really like that, and it like gives you little like celebrations when you get to a certain goal weight, or like milestone weight, and then it also says like the date, and it'll tell you like how many days, given your history, it's going to take you to get to the next milestone. So basically I have, this one says 26, so I must have changed it again when I did the even numbers. But honestly, that kind of works better for me because I get like external validation more often, which that is one thing that I do kind of want to talk about. So let me just get into what the vibe is. I started, let me pull up the logbook. I really started tracking my weight like seriously June 15th, and it is now obviously July today that I'm filming. It's July 25th, I think. Maybe it's not. Nope, it's the 27th. It's July 27th. And so I started at 253, and I am now at 242, I think. When was my last one? 242. So I've technically lost 11 pounds in about a month and a little bit. Like a month and a half? Is that right? Somewhere around then. My goal was 2 pounds a week, but I'm not getting there. I'm not doing that. One thing I do actually want to mention here. So I am not very active. This summer has been literally killing me. I do not enjoy being outside. I don't enjoy getting super hot. I get really overheated really quickly. I take medication that makes me really sensitive to heat, and I'm also overweight. It's also 900,000 degrees outside with 1,000,000% humidity, and it has just been really taking it out of me, and I've been using it as an excuse not to go outside and not to exercise. But fingers crossed that our next milestone, so like after today, I will stop using that as an excuse. I think part of the problem is that I'm not as hydrated as I need to be, so just like my general baseline is feeling bad. And so then if I like go outside, or if I go run outside, or if I do a hard workout in here and I'm like sweating, I'm like even more dehydrated, and then I feel horrendously bad and terrible, which not what we want to do. So I am going to focus this like next little chunk on being hydrated so I can work out more. The 2 pounds a week goal is only feasible for me if I am working out every single day, and I am not even working out like 4 times a week. Like that is, at the start I was going on runs 3 days a week, and I would do CICO classes the other days, and my weight loss was much quicker at the beginning because I was doing that. Obviously I'm like calories in, calories out situation. So I need to get back to that, and I want to get back to that. I feel better mentally and physically when I'm exercising, but I've just like genuinely felt terrible because it's so hot outside. And if I literally walked to the mailbox and I'm like, oh my God, I want to go back inside. I hate it. And I'm not normally like that in the summer. This time it's just like really impacting me. I am taking a different medication than I was last year at this time, so that might have something to do with it. I might just be like, that one might be impacting my sensitivity, my sensitivity a little bit more, which I am like cognizant of. I know that it's not, that's like a very common side effect. So I am taking that into consideration, but I want to get out. I mean, we live in the mountains. If you're new, hi, we live in the mountains in the middle of nowhere, middle of nowhere to me. And there's so many hiking trails, and me and my husband love hiking together, and we love like those amazing beautiful views and seeing all that stuff. It's just so hot, like it's just ruining it for me. But once we get through August, which August is next week, I'm hoping that, because like I truly do love to go outside. I love to go hiking. I don't like bugs and dirt, but I do love hiking, and I love the views, and I love like going to see waterfalls and all of that stuff. It's also really good quality time to spend with somebody if you do it with other people, and it's like gets you out in the world and off the internet, and I just really enjoy hiking. And that's one of the reasons that we moved up here, because there's just so many hiking trails, and there's mountains everywhere, and there's just like so much stuff to do outdoors. I'm hoping that in the fall, because it'll be slightly more bearable outside in like September, it's still going to be hot. I mean, I've lived in Georgia my whole life. I know it's going to be hot, but it'll be slightly more bearable. So I'm hoping that we can really like amp up the hiking, because not only is it phenomenal for like your cardio health, but it's good for building muscle if you're doing like hills and stuff. So it's just like overall really good for me mentally and physically to hike and get outside and do all that good stuff. It's just been so hot. I cannot get myself to do it. But fingers crossed, after this heat wave is over in August, it's going to be better, and I'm going to increase my steps and my expenditure and all of that good, great stuff. Until then, though, I'm not going to go outside and do a 7-mile hike up a mountain because I will die. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. So I'm gonna focus on more activity, whatever that means this next time. Focusing on more activity. So that is a goal for the next milestone, more activity, whether it's 30-minute SoulCycle class every day, whether it's a little walk down to the river that we have in our neighborhood, whether it's not really a little walk because it's like 3 miles and it's directly uphill, but either way, get outside or inside. My SoulCycle is inside. But do something to get my body moving and to get more calories burned. But not with, like, that's not the goal, but obviously, like, my end goal is to lose weight, so I do need to burn more calories, but it makes me feel better all around. So that is what I'm focusing on, just getting out, doing more, moving my body. Okay, we're moving it a little bit more because she hasn't been moving and she's been feeling bad because of it. Okay, that's the exercise portion of today's video. Next, I'm going to talk about like food and how I've been feeling with food and how I've been doing with food. And to be honest, I've been doing way better, way better with food. I don't know how to explain this, but at some point in like June-ish, it seemed like a switch like flipped in my brain about the way I was eating and the food that I was consuming and the amount of food I was consuming, and it just feels easier now to do like the right thing. Obviously I haven't been perfect. I have struggled very much so in the past with binge eating disorder, and I've talked about that in some of my other videos. So that doesn't just like go away overnight. That's like something that you have to really focus on. And also, I have had like a food addiction forever. I can't remember a time where I didn't feel that way about food. And so with those things being said, and those things happening to me every single day, I'm not gonna be perfect. There's gonna be days where I'm like chasing that full feeling that I just like absolutely have to get that. There's gonna be days where I drink too much and then I snack. There's gonna be days where I drink too much and that alone puts me over the edge. There's gonna be times where like we go out to eat and I can't successfully track that and I end up going over. I'm not gonna be perfect. I know that. But I was like not even trying to be perfect before, and it just felt so unattainable to me for some reason. And in my head I was just like, I'm never gonna do it right. Like, I'm never gonna get it right. I'm never gonna lose the weight. I'm just not ever gonna do it. Despite my best efforts, I will never succeed because it felt too hard. And I don't know like why I felt that way. Well, actually, I do know why I felt that way. That's a lie. I felt that way because I haven't ever succeeded before. And so to me, I was like, I am just a big, ginormous failure and can't do anything right. And what's the point of trying? So like the days that I would really mess up and like way overeat, I would be like, well, obviously, this is what you do. Like, that's all that you do. And I just like had that mentality with everything. So I wasn't like getting any better because I had that thought process the whole time. And somewhere along the way in June, that stopped. And I was like, okay, well, that doesn't make any sense. I have been successful at doing certain things. I know that I'm being super gluttonous and I don't need to. I don't need all of those extra calories to like be a human and do the things that I want to do. And I can make changes to the way that I'm eating and acting and the decisions that I'm making, and it just felt easier. all of a sudden. And that's like very odd to say, but it did. And I have been really good since then about tracking stuff. And if I did go over, I'm not like binging 500,000 calories at night. Like when I'm failing, which I don't even like to say it like that, but when I am not within my limits, I'm not going so far over the deep end where it ruins the next week for me, which is something that I really needed to work on, because yes, you can have a cheat day, yes, you can go over sometimes, yes, that's fine, but the way that I was going over, it was sabotaging like days and days and days of successful eating, and I've been really successful at managing that this month, or the past month and a half, however long it's been since June 15th, okay, a month and 10 days, I guess. I've been really good about it, and I have felt really confident with it. There have been some days where my old mentality kind of creeps back in, and I start really second guessing everything that I'm doing, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not losing weight fast enough. Do I need to cut more calories? Is it because I'm not tracking enough? Is it because I didn't do that right? Am I eating the right foods? All this stuff just comes like rushing in sometimes, but it's not constant like it was before. So I can kind of deal with those thoughts if they're not just all the time in your head. And I've been prioritizing eating balanced meals. I'm not protein crazy. I'm having a protein, a carb, vegetables, sugars, like balance. And I'm eating what I want. If I want a cookie, I put it into my app and I like make it work for the day. Sometimes I eat a cookie after I don't have any room left for the day, and that's okay too, as long as I don't have 12 cookies. You know? And it's like, it's almost like all of the diet culture stuff just kind of poofed out of my head, and I'm like, okay, well, I am me. I like to eat the way I like to eat. My body feels the way my body feels. It's not gonna like relate to anybody else. Nobody else is gonna be able to tell me how to eat, exactly how much to eat, what foods to eat. Someone else's diet isn't gonna work for me. And so I just started doing stuff for me, and that really helped. I drink when I want to. I don't drink I did have to put like a limit on that though. I don't drink during the week. I only drink on the weekends. And I do track that. So I have to make sure I have enough room. If I want to drink later in the evening, I eat accordingly for the rest of the day to make sure that that's not sending me over the edge. But remind me to talk about that. That's a topic I'll get into in a second. But I just started doing stuff for me. I started making choices for me that I knew would make me feel good and make me happy, and that's what I've been doing. And it's been working really well. I've been tracking. I have to track. I do not know portion sizes. I cannot do it without my handy dandy scale. It comes everywhere with me. I have it all the time, and I measure pretty much every single thing that I eat. I hope that's not a forever thing, because it is really super annoying. But for now, I'm learning, and I'm learning portion sizes. I'm learning how to eat appropriately for my body size, and I'll have to keep kind of adjusting that as I lose weight, obviously. But for now, the scale is a necessity, and I don't mind it for now, but I do hope that's not a forever thing. But back to the whole drinking situation, I have realized that when I am drinking, which this is not like some crazy situation or some crazy realization that nobody else has ever thought about, I don't make the same choices when I'm drinking versus when I'm not, and it leads to overeating for me. So I do have to monitor that pretty closely, because not only does alcohol have calories in it, but if I am drinking and then I'm like, well, it doesn't matter, like I'll have that snack, or oh well, we'll just stop at Taco Bell, or like it kind of seems to always end up like that when I'm partaking. So I have had to really monitor that and make sure that I have like fueled myself appropriately. I'm not gonna be like hungry, and I have to pay attention to my eating while I'm drinking, because it can very easily turn into like, I don't want to say binge because it's usually not, but it can turn bad quick. That's all I'm saying. So that is something that I've been having to pay attention to, which I knew that happened, but I didn't realize it was as bad as it was because I was drinking a little more frequently. And so it was just kind of like, not a daily routine, but it was like part of my routine to eat that way after I had been drinking. So I didn't make the connection as fast as I probably should have. But now I made the connection, and the connection is there, and I know that. And so I know that if I've been, like on days that I'm really particularly more hungry than others, I won't drink those days, because even if it's like on the weekend and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna have a glass of wine, I won't do it because I know that I will make poor choices, and I'm trying to make less of those. So that's my update on food. I actually just recently bumped it down because I figured I was probably not tracking as accurately as I should. So if I bumped it down on my app, if I don't track it appropriately, I'm still going to be like within that range. Anyway, I was at 1750 and I bumped it down to 1600. Once I realized I lost 10 pounds, I recalculated my TDEE thing, which 1600 would be a 500 calorie deficit from what that said. I actually think it's like 1695 is exactly 500, but again, if I'm not tracking exactly, then I could be consuming more than I think that I am. So I kind of want to like make room for that. So in my app, I'm currently doing 1600. I hope that I don't have to go down a bunch from that, but also increasing my exercise and like just increasing the amount of body movement that's occurring daily, I will be able to increase that a little bit, because that is a 500 calorie deficit without doing any activity, which I don't really do any activity. So I don't want to overestimate the amount of calories that I'm burning, because then that's not going to get me where I want to go. So right now I'm underestimating it, and then I can adjust if I consistently move my body more. So yes, I am 10 pounds down. I am currently at 242, and I have more than 100 pounds actually to lose, because when I first started this journey, I actually weighed less than I do now, and I like lost a little bit of weight, and then I gained more weight back, and now we're like moving our way back down. But when I first started, I wanted to be like, my goal weight is like 130, which is still true. But if we're doing the math in our heads, that's more than 100 pounds from here. And but that's okay. In my head, I'm saying 100 pounds. But again, once I like lose a lot of the extra weight that I have, we can kind of reevaluate to see like if that's going to be the right place for my body to be. Everybody in my family, I know like big boned isn't real, but we have like big shoulders and big hands and big feet and stuff. I'm not super tall, so I don't think that 130 is like a crazy number to get to, but I might need to reevaluate given the situation. I will say, when I am like exercising, I'm fairly muscular, and most everyone in my family is also, and that you just like weigh a little bit more. So if I don't like fully get down to 130, but it's like good, I'm not gonna stress about it. But we're so far away from there, I can't even, we don't even need to be talking about this right now. But it is something that I think about as an overthinker. I have thought about all of the things. I've thought about how long it's gonna take me, how many clothes I'm gonna have to rebuy when I lose weight, if my work clothes are gonna fit me, what my skin is gonna look like, if my face is gonna look different, if my hair is gonna get thinner. Like, I've literally thought about every single thing, and I used to pretty obsessively think about the future, but again, a switch flipped, last month in my head, and I have spent a lot less time focusing on things that haven't happened yet and more so focusing on things that are happening right now in front of me. I have no idea what is going to happen in 100 pounds. I have no idea what's going to happen in a year. I have no idea what my body's going to look like, what it's going to feel like. I have no idea if I'll have loose skin. I mean, I'm fairly certain I will, but I have not lost the weight, so I don't need to spend time worrying about it. You know what I mean? And I've kind of convinced myself of that at this point, which is quite difficult for somebody who overthinks about everything in their life all the time. But it hasn't happened yet. That we need to be of the mindset, cross that bridge when we get to it, babe. Like, I haven't been under 200 pounds since 2022. I know what my body feels like at 200. I know what my body feels like at 180 and 165. That's the lowest I've been in my adult life, is 165. And it was very brief, and I was not doing it with longevity in mind at that time. However, I know what that looks like. I know what that feels like. I know what my clothes look like on me that I still have currently in my closet at 165 pounds. And I'm still like so far away. Sorry, the sun is like going up and down, so the lighting is all wonky. My bad. But I am quite literally almost 100 pounds away from 165. I mean, I know I'm not, but like I'm 80 pounds away from 165. So me spending so much of my mental energy thinking about what 30 pounds lighter than that will look like, feel like, how I'll like act, how I'll be perceived, it's a waste of my time. It is a waste of my time. I will worry about it when I get there. And that's like, social media kind of comes into play a little bit as well. I follow a smaller Sam, which if you're on TikTok, you probably know her. She, I think she's like around my age. She's like 27, 28, I think. And she lost, I just watched one of her videos. I think it's like 250 pounds or something. And she has like gained a following from it, and she does like fast food meal, like weight loss hacks, and she has recently gone through a lot of loose skin removal surgery, and I find myself comparing what I'm doing to what she's doing, and the like foods that she's eating, and the way that she looks, and the way that like the surgeries that she's had to have. She's super tall, and she has lost way more weight than I planned. I physically could not lose 250 pounds. Right? Like, that logically is making sense to you, correct? So if I doom scroll her page and I'm like, okay, well, we're not gonna have money for me to get like a tummy tuck, and she also got her like thigh skin removed, and she did an arm like skin removal thing, and she did this, and this, and I'm not gonna have money for that, and I will like be unhappy. Why am I doing that? Why am I doing that? I won't look like that. Even if I do, we will cross that bridge when we get to it. But there's no reason for me to worry about it before it's even happened. Because what if it didn't? I'm the first one to be like, well, what if? Well, what if it doesn't? What if it doesn't? What if it turns out actually really good and you don't have loose skin, or you don't need to have any form of cosmetic surgery, or you don't have to buy new clothes because you actually are muscular and they fit still. They just don't suffocate you like a can of biscuit wrapper. What if it doesn't go bad? What if it goes well? And I need to get myself, I'm like being really aggressive at you right now, but it's like to me. I'm like talking to myself in the camera. What if it doesn't go badly? What if all of the horrible things that you have concocted in your brain do not actually happen? Then you wasted your present and your past on worrying about it. And that is just not what I'm doing anymore. That's not what I'm doing anymore. I will cross that bridge when I get to it. If I have loose skin, I will figure that shit out when I get to it. Okay? And I have insecurities now. I'm super self-conscious now. If I have, they're just gonna change. Like, I am fully aware that the way that I feel about myself now is not going to be any different regardless of what my body looks like. If I hate, which is not true, but if I hate every single thing about myself and I lose 100 pounds, that's not going to change anything. If I were to gain 100 pounds, not going to change anything. Like, what happens in your brain and what happens to your body, they're not related. I mean, they can be sort of, this is not like black and white here, okay? I understand that there are some insecurities that will be solved, right, by losing weight. In my situation, I know that because I have been smaller and I know that I feel differently, and like the insecurities mainly come from that. However, it's not going to solve everything. I have to do the work internally, mentally, to work through those things, because if I don't work through it now, it's going to be the same when I'm 100 pounds lighter. And that's going to feel bad. So it's important to like take a step back and think about what's going on inside of your head. And sometimes that is hard when you're focused so much on like what's going on in your body and like the way that it looks and how much you weigh and the food that you're eating and the stuff that you're doing externally, but you have to pay attention internally also, because weight loss is as much of an internal mental game as it is a physical one. And I just like learn that every single time that I try to lose weight. I'm just reminded that you have to do the work internally also. But I'm excited. That was like really aggressive, and I didn't mean for it to come across negatively, but I'm just telling you guys, like, basically I'm therapizing myself right now. And you guys just get to watch. So welcome to my show, everyone. Anyway, I'm excited to get to the next milestone. The next milestone is 240, so fingers crossed that I'll get there like by the end of next week probably. And then we'll crank on the next one. Because they're like so close together, I might not do one like every milestone, but I'm gonna shoot to do one like once a month, like one of these videos once a month, just so we can check in and I can let you know how I'm feeling and what's going on and what I'm doing, because it changes every day. So if you made it to the end, I love you guys so much. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.